My God, look who I found down here on the beach. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's good to see you. All right, so tell us, first of all, how can we find you on YouTube? Where are you on social media?
On YouTube and Instagram, I go by Fishing with Pauline.
Oh, okay, very good. How do you spell that exactly?
Fishing with and then F-A-L-I-N-E, Pauline.
F-A-L-I-N-E. And how's fishing this morning?
So far, I caught a little baby leopard shark.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm still searching for perch right now.
Oh, cool. And so are you down here alone doing this?
Yeah.
You don't have anybody with you, huh? Right on. And do you like to fish around the high tide, or what's your key to success fishing around here?
Usually I would say low tide.
Yeah.
But then I know it's kind of been hard hitting low tide at the right time.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving it a shot.
Very good. And do you come down to this beach very often? I've never seen you here.
I've been coming down here more often on Fridays.
Uh-huh.
So, and then Friday and Saturdays.
All right, perfect.
I'm
Well,
trying to chase that corvina, so.
you're trying to catch corvina?
Yeah.
Well, catch some today. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. One more time again, Fishing with Feline. Fishing with Feline, everybody. Make sure you give her a follow today.
Thank you.
97-year-old Jim Stitt caught limits of salmon today fishing near the Golden Gate Bridge with his son on their boat, the Three Fins.
Wow, nice 22, probably pounder.
Oh, yeah.
It's 97, gonna be 98 in a few weeks with limits of salmon. Isn't that cool?
Bites on a heavy line, the light line on this one. On the slide, when you get jig strike, you can start with 40 pound on the slide, 2-0 J hooks, or number 1-0 on the circle hook, 15 pound yellowfin. Once we get into a drift and it gets a little pickier, go down in line class. 20 pound test, number 2 J hooks.
Down to our last two-day trips with Friedman Adventures for 2025, September the 23rd. We sail from Seaforth Sport Fishing in San Diego for 2 days, and then October the 6th, we'll be departing from 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, on board the Amigo. Very few spots available, very little time left. Make sure you send me a text today. Get on board with Friedman Adventures. Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend, John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And don't forget to fish at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Seal Beach Boulevard. They've got all the bait tackle you'll need for a successful day on the water. Whether it's surf fishing or big game bluefin tuna, drop in and say hi to the folks at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Hey, good Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. A little overcast, but not much of a breeze. That ocean looks really, really beautiful. Man, there's a lot to talk about. Last night I was in San Diego at the San Diego Rod and Reel Club. What a great bunch of guys and gals. I truly felt welcome there and had such a great time. And I want to say hi to all the great folks I got to spend time with last night. What a salmon bite in San Francisco. Magnificent. Big salmon. And of course, we featured a 97-year-old angler catching limits of salmon yesterday up there near the Golden Gate Bridge. It can't get any better. We're already getting reports here this morning from several long-range boats who are into the big yellowtail. Great calico bass fishing, that's going on. More yellowfin tuna, but is it a thing now? What the heck is going on with our bluefin tuna? We'll check the Channel Islands and everything else you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? Let's get down here and check out this water temperature right now, because we got to do that scientific approach that we take here at Freedman Adventures. There we go. Feels a little chillier to me here this morning, maybe 66-ish, something like that. We spare no expense here at Freedman Adventures with the latest technology to ascertain the exact water temperatures for you all. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel, and make sure you tick that despicable, rotten, filthy, smelly little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Always great to be with you all. Shout out to all my great friends in Hawthorne, California at SpaceX. They are doing magnificent work in our communities, making interstellar travel a reality in the very near future. And I can't thank you guys enough for all you do for Freedman Adventures, SpaceX. All right, let's get into it. Let's take you down to Mexico and talk Cedros Island. Some good yellowtail action going on down there. Man, those fish come up, you throw an iron on them, take a couple of winds, and you are bit. And it's a lot of fun. Great calico fishing there also. And there's some tuna offshore from there, but the pongeros stay mostly inside. They're also picking out an occasional halibut and white sea bass. It's really good fishing there at Cedros. You know, the bar gets placed way up here, and if it's not just full speed, wide open yellowtail action, we have a tendency as human beings to say, I don't know if I want to do that. But it's still very steady and good fishing. Same thing down there in San Quintin, which is only 140 miles down below the border. Many of you love to drive down to that neck of the woods. The yellowtail bite's been a little bit more up and down, but most days are still pretty darn good. You can miss for sure. They have been a little bit more elusive here recently, but you can fall back on calico bass. Great rockfish in that area. There's been a few white sea bass along the coast there also. Offshore from there, Jeff Lingle's been catching lots of fish, but he was further south. And we'll talk about Jeff, and we'll talk about yellowfin, and we'll talk about bluefin here in just a few more minutes. There in Ensenada, which is 60 miles down below the border. Really nice fishing going on. Carlos Cortez runs out of Popotla. He's not all the way down in Ensenada. In fact, Popotla is about a 15-minute drive south of Rosarito Beach. And I just talked to Carlos a moment ago. He said he's going to run up to the 425, check that out, see if that yellowfin tuna wants to bite, and then he's going to skid it out elsewhere and take a look around. He's a hard fisherman, really does a great job. Cortez sport fishing out of Popotla down there in Ensenada. That bluefin tuna bite is just like it is everywhere. It's pretty down right now, not biting that well at all. Every once in a while you'll get on a foamer, and man, I'll tell you, you can troll through those things and get a bite, but throwing poppers, the tuna riot poppers are what we love, man. They work so well. And once again, we went through a whole seminar with Pete Thompson, the founder of Tuna Riot Poppers, on exactly the different techniques and methodology you can employ to get more bites. I highly recommend you check that out. Do that right now, throwing a popper on those fish. And sometimes dead sticking is the best way to get a bite. And that means just letting your jig float there, or in this case, the popper. It just floats there and they will bite it. Still, having said all of that, it is a lot more difficult than it has been for that species. Now, there is some yellowtail around town. Right now, we're seeing yellows south of there, down there around Santo Tomas. We see a little bit of yellowtail right out in front there at Todos Santos Island. And there's even a little bit up north. Pretty good scores on that. And still some pretty good barracuda flurries in Ensenada. Plenty of rockfish, and there's some good sand and calico bass fishing for the pongeros who get on that stuff and fish that. So pretty good fishing going on down there south. All right, long range fishing. Man, it's really good on the yellowtail here this morning. Mike, the cranker, Krinkovich. Mike is a big Friedman Adventures family member. Mike, we miss you in the live chat during the premiere of the morning briefing, but I've been talking to Mike since he left on the Royal Polaris. They jugged up with tons of mackerel for bait last night. They are currently down there around San Pablo Bay, and they are putting the wood to the yellows. Mike just threw on a nice yellowtail, everybody. So Mike Krinkovich off to the races, and really great fishing going on for the long range boys in that neck of the woods. Out at the rocks, we had a tropical depression that was kind of camping out there for a while. So these boys are on the coast right now, and the XL is having absolutely full speed yellowtail action. It can't get any better. Mixed up with it, some really great calico bass fishing. Same thing on the Independence. The Independence just creaming the yellowtail right now. Really great yellowtail action, great calico bass action. And Soda Pop is on board the Independence, and he said, hey, that jig, I caught 10 yellows on that. No problema. Biting the iron really, really well. Some really fantastic fishing. Man, I tell you, it can't get any better. Catching 18 to 25 pound yellowtail mixed up with some great calico bass fishing. How can it get any better? Those are 8-day trips, mostly long range fishing out of San Diego, California. Some of you are new to Southern California sport fishing, and those boats, man, they provide you with not only comfortable places to hang out, but great fishing and absolutely wonderful food. Really great stuff going on. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. It is down. It really stinks. There's some big fish. There's a lot of 10-pounders, and they're just not biting that well at all. And unfortunately, might as well get into the weather right now. It's going to be breezy out there this weekend, but by Monday afternoon, it really goes to spit out there, especially around the areas like Cherry Bank, near San Nicolas Island, Tanner Bank, backside of San Clemente Island, are going to look like crapola on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We may get a little bit of a break then, and then we're going to get some more wind and weather, so we're just going to have to keep our eyes on it very, very closely. That fish, that bluefin tuna, seems to be on really small bait, but it just doesn't want to come off that small chovy that it's feeding on and bite something with a hook in it. There's some fish being caught, don't get me wrong, but it is really slow for the most part right now. And a lot of guys are turning their attention to the south, trying to get that yellowfin tuna. We'll talk about that in a moment also and see if that is the real deal or not. As I mentioned, Carlos Cortez is taking a look at it out of Popola, and several other boats, full-day boats out of San Diego, like the San Diego, the Grande, and those boys are looking at it right now. And so are several other sport boats, and that area is going to get hammered on here with that weather coming up offshore. A lot of boats are going to be in there trying to get that YFT to bite. Let's give you some scores. Aztec on a 3.5-day trip, slow bluefin tuna, but they had some really good fishing on the yellowfin tuna. Not bad at all. In fact, you saw Captain Gray giving a tackle tip with all that yellowfin tuna on the deck. Pretty impressive there. 17 guys, 32 bluefin tuna to Dorado. So there's a little bit more warm water stuff, and they ended up with 27 on the yellowfin tuna. So not too bad. Pacific Queen, 3.5-day trip, 11 bluefin, 55 yellowfin, 7 yellowtail for 23 anglers. The Excalibur had 1 yellowfin, 2 Dorado, 7 yellowtail. The San Diego full-day boat had 3 yellowfin tuna yesterday and said he didn't see what he had seen on previous days. It seemed to have kind of disappeared on him, Every day is different. We may get a new influx of fish. Hurricanes, 2 of them are pushing warm water up from Baja into our area, and presumably with it, some more of these yellowfin and dorado. At least that's what we're hoping for right now. Right now, it's kind of a pick and a scratch, as you can hear on these fish. Grande had 5 yellowfin tuna. So once again, we are just trying to turn the page right now, trying to turn it to yellowfin and dorado. It's not there yet. It's trying to show some significant signs of life, but it's still not there. There can be some very slow fishing also on that yellowfin tuna. Fingers crossed that the boys make it happen here today, because that offshore situation, as I mentioned, is going to go to spit on Monday. It's going to get very windy and stay that way. And we're not supposed to be having this wind in the fall. You've heard me say many times, this is when we get our best weather months. At some point in time, I presume we're going to get that. Maybe it'll be late September or October when it just flattens out and it's gorgeous. Maybe you'll get a big rolling southern swell from a hurricane, a chubasco down below. But for the most part, it is beautiful. And we're not seeing that. We're seeing really windy weather right now. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. On that yellowfin tuna, man, when you get a jig strike on that stuff, you go in the water on what we call the slide. When the captain pulls the boat out of gear and it's still sliding ahead, getting bit on the 40-pound. After you get into a stop and the fish become more finicky, you might want to drop down to 20-pound, and you're always going to be choosing a really good hot bait. Those yellowfin tuna will annihilate the tuna riot popper. It's such a great way to catch YFT, and the visual's great, man, when those fish blow up on that popper. It is so darn cool. It really is. So remember, everybody, we're keeping our eyes on it. Mostly 15-pound yellowfin tuna, some smaller than that. Also, there's some 10-pound stuff, and every once in a while you get one up there around 18 pounds. But mostly, I want to say 12 to 15-pound yellowfin tuna. And not far from home, maybe 30, 40 miles from San Diego. You know, the Coronado Islands. That's what, oh, hey, Jeff Lingle, our very own Jeff Lingle. You know, Jeff runs a yacht, and everybody on that yacht that he takes fishing has security clearances, no photos, no mention of the boat's name. But Jeff is an extraordinary Freeman Adventures family member. He fished 194 miles down the Baja Peninsula. He is fast and he can fish. He had 6 guys on a 3.5-day trip, and Jeff had really a dream trip. He ended up with 7 yellowfin tuna down there, 2 dorado, 9 yellowtail, 12 bluefin tuna. He had 145, 140, 125-pound fish. Really great trip for Jeff. Seeing some of that warm water stuff down there at a couple of 100 miles, basically. That's how far down he was. Also that bluefin down there, so that's great to see that. And he had a great trip. He's running out on another trip as we speak. And don't forget, he shows up in the live chat when these morning briefings premiere. That means the first time that they are shown, about 10 a.m. most of the time. Maybe a little earlier, maybe a little bit later. Depends on a myriad of different factors. But Jeff is a lot of times in there, and you can talk to him and ask him a question, and I highly recommend you do it, because he is a fountain of information, a super great guy, and man, it's always good to see him having success. Coronado Islands, you know, we were just there on our trip on board the Dolphin, that phenomenal trip we spent with anglers and wheelchairs catching yellowtail. And that place is still biting. There's a lack of boat pressure because it's that time of the year, number one. And the other reason is a lot of guys are off chasing that YFT around the Mission Belle yesterday with 22 guys, had 37 yellowtail at the Coronado Islands. Not bad at all. And the grade of fish, pretty darn good, you know, anywhere from 12 to over 20 pounds. Most of that fish. There's a little bit of bluefin around the tuna pens also, mostly small grade, and sometimes you'll even catch some of that. But I like the Coronado Islands right now. Pretty darn good fishing going on. New Loan just got this score in 3-day trip. 18 anglers, 40 on the yellowfin tuna, 1 bluefin, 26 yellowtail, and a dorado. Back to the islands we go, and we go out to San Clemente Island, where the Thunderbird had spectacular fishing. They didn't want to deal with that wind and beat their brains out and try to catch bluefin tuna. They opted to fish the island, and I think it was a great move because they ended up with 13 nice yellowtail. Those forkies are really nice fish there at San Clemente Island, and absolutely stupendous calico bass fishing with 210 calico bass. How can it get any better than that? They had a halibut, and of course there's sheepheaded whitefish and rockfish and all that razzmatazz mixed in there with it. We look at Catalina Island, and there's a mix of fish there. It doesn't seem like we're catching any one species like wide open. There's some pretty good bonita, there's good calico fishing, especially when you drop down to 12-pound fluorocarbon. You'll kill the bass if you do that. There's a couple of yellowtail running around there, mostly small grade, but there's an occasionally a bigger one, maybe a halibut, some rockfish, whitefish, sheephead, that kind of stuff at Catalina Island. The El Patron is headed out there right now. In fact, just a moment ago, I talked to Anthony, Mad Dog. We love Anthony. He's such a great guy, and he makes fishing on the El Patron so much fun. Say hi to the dog for me, because man, that guy really puts in 110% no matter what he does. And you can join him by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org and have some fun there. All right, we'll take you now up to the Channel Islands. Not much on the white sea bass, a little bit breezy right now up in that neck of the woods. A recent trip on the Island Spirit, 22 guys, 26 guys, 22 halibut. Really great fishing. Wednesdays, they do halibut only. They're going to have some breezy weather up there. It looks like there's a great weather window on Wednesday for that halibut special on the Island Spirit. Coming up this Wednesday, they had 22 halibut on their last trip. They've been doing it all year long. You can join them on the Island Spirit by calling 805-676-3474 or go to VenturaSportFishing.com. Going to be breezy, get a little weather window opening there on Wednesday. At least that's what the forecast is for now. And that could be your opportunity to get out with Captain Daniel Hadaway and the great crew of the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Aloha Spirit yesterday had a couple yellowtail. Not bad. The Island Fox had really good calico bass fishing up there in the Channel Islands. Nothing wrong with that. And we'll ride you all the way up now and talk about Avila Beach, Morro Bay. Really great rock fishing going on there. That has been spectacular in terms of that. Remember, we had a private boater catch some albacore out of Morro Bay, but there's been no follow-up at all to it. And then we got to ride you up to San Francisco, where the salmon bite was absolutely as good as guys up there have been fishing for years and years and years have ever seen it. Not only was it limits of king salmon, but the fish were really big, sizable fish, great salmon fishing, limits for a myriad of different boats up there. It was fantastic. They got a couple of more days of salmon fishing to go, and that thing is on again. And you know, once they get out of the salmon fishing, they'll go back to great striper fishing. They've had great halibut fishing, and if you can poke your nose offshore, you got to get a weather window. There's some albacore, there's great lingcod, rockfish. It's really spectacular up there in San Francisco. I hope you get a chance to do that really, really soon. Talking about spectacular, big yellows biting for the half-day boat out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. The new C4 had 17 of those nice big forkies in the morning, backed it up with another 16 big yellowtail in the afternoon. That is some really great fishing. So happy to see those boys getting on it. They've been looking at that fish. It's settling in and starting to bite. That's good news. A lot of fish on the iron. Don't fish the iron with anything less than 40. You should be fishing it with 50-pound fish. Heavy when you're fishing these bigger grade yellowtail. Don't let them get you into the structure. If you happen to be close to some structure, yellows are adept at running you into that. So keep that in mind. Up there around Dana Point, you know, the boat's out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing with some good calico bass action. A lot of fish being released because they're short, but the action's good. And then up there, Davies Locker, Newport Beach, guys like that have been poking around at some local bonito. There's been a little bit of bass, but that's backed way off. Mostly sculpin, rockfish, that kind of stuff for our local boats. Out on the native sun, John Dickens was out there, and John was on board the Native Son yesterday out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. He said the bonito bite was as good as you could possibly want it. John thinks he had 20 fish, really good bonito fishing on there. They had well over 100, picked at the bass and other species. Not all that great local in terms of our bass and that kind of thing, but recently, maybe 5 days ago, the Native Son had some yellowtail, some bass, some halibut. They've been doing really well. But mostly bonito yesterday. We'll keep our eyes on it. I still think we got a very good chance of a fall yellowtail bite here in our local areas. We'll keep our eyes on that for you all. We already talked about some pretty good bass fishing up in the Channel Islands. In the Southern California surf, I'll remind you all that you can go down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They've got all your surf fishing tackle right down there awaiting you. And of course, they've got all your big game bluefin, sea bass. They got it all. Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They give away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. All you got to do is go in there, buy their ruler, and you're in for the rest of the year. Surf fishing been kind of slow, according to my sources here recently. Down there around Dog Beach, Huntington Beach, a few Corbina and Yellowfin croakers. Same thing here by the tower. The beautiful tower that I got to take a look at with my friend Rob Doobie. I hope Rob's doing well. Rob, it's always great spending time with you. And that was a spectacular moment. Out in front here, a few small barred perch, occasional halibut, a lot of short halibut. I know my friend Wayne Shima Bakudo fished down at Bolsa Chica yesterday, and he said it was just windy and a lot of kelp in the water. Had a short halibut, really short, like that kind of halibut. He said it was pretty slow, but things changed. Water feels warm now. Maybe I just walked down here when I first came in. I'll still call it 66, 67. Up there around Redondo Beach, California, we continue to see some pretty good fishing on Corvina around the Topaz Rock Jetty down to the pier, the Redondo Pier, and then up there between the Hermosa and Manhattan Beach piers. Pretty good Corvina fishing going on. That's been the spot to be hanging out in for sure, as it's been pretty good up there in that neck of the woods. Hey, I was again down there at the San Diego Rod and Reel Club. Great people, wonderful folks. And you can see that presentation. It's up right now on our YouTube channel and our Freedman Adventures Facebook page. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. And I can't thank you enough for everything you do for Freedman Adventures. It is so deeply appreciated by yours truly. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you really, really soon.